I have noticed something that the moment you start speaking about Jesus, the room shifts, the body language of people shift, the whole energy of the spaces that you're in, even online, completely shifts. Recently, I've been going through just a whole brand identity shift because God is like, you need to make Christ the center of your brand. And this is something that I fought for a long time because I was like, people are going to hate this. They're not going to resonate with this. And I started to do it in my small communities, the spaces that I was already curating with clients. And lo and behold, Christ was already moving in these women's lives. Jesus was already speaking to these women. Women were getting baptized, not with any direction from me, but because Christ was calling them into a restored life. I witnessed women start to study the Bible and all of these things, but it still doesn't change the fact that what I've noticed is that there is deep resistance to understanding Jesus Christ. There is deep resistance to relationship with Jesus Christ. And I really had to unravel this because as someone who was raised Catholic, I understood this. I felt the same way. I would hear people talk about their love for Jesus and giving themselves to Jesus. And I was like, absolutely not. I don't want a Lord and Savior. I want to do this on myself. I find pride and praise in being hyper independent and saving myself and all of the things. And then I stopped. And I allowed him into my heart, and I witnessed myself just completely soften and melt into the love of Christ. But I still witness it. I still witness the disconnect and the instant box that we're put into because we talk about that, because we love Jesus with everything that we have, because he gave his life for us. He shed blood for us. He quite literally gave himself because we are imperfect humans, and he understood that. I want to end with this. And this is my message for those of you that hear that word Jesus, is what you're associating with who Jesus is in your relationship with him is what you've created, not only in your mind, but what you've often experienced in religion. And religion and relationship with Jesus Christ are two different things. They can intersect and they can be beautiful. Going to church and worship and community is actually something that I receive so much from. But religion and Christ, they're not the same thing. So when you hear someone talking about their love for Jesus, instead of just putting on an armor of defense, my invitation for you is to allow the armor to be softened and released, and allow the armor of God to cover you and see what happens, because Jesus changes lives. And that's why so many of us are on fire with testimony right now.